Hello, my lovely stars. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome to Pimlico Tarot and Astrology, the channel where I do pick a card readings and give astrological insights on various topics. So let's see. Today we're going to do a reading on how you're perceived by people, like how other people view you versus who you are really. And you've got 4 piles to choose from. You've got pile number 1, which is the green acrylic paint, pile number 2, which is blue, pile number 3 is yellow, and pile number 4 is red. So again, this is about how you're viewed versus how you are really. So again, you've got pile number 1, which is green, pile number 2, blue, pile number 3, yellow, and pile number 4 is red. And I will let you meditate on that. Okay, so with that, we're going to move on to pile number 1. Hi, pile number 1. So you chose the green acrylic paint, and we're going to take a look at how other people view you versus who you are in reality, okay? So this one will be who you are really, and this is how you're viewed by people. So we've got the Tower, you've got the 7 of Wheels, the 9 of Cups, another 9 of Cups, and 7 of Swords. You've also got Sueless, bodies of water. Spend time near water such as a lake, river, or the ocean to recharge your batteries. And if you were asking about, or if somebody is a secret admirer of yours, or if you're asking about a romantic partner, I've got a romance card, and it's honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Okay. So with the Tower, you could be an Aquarius or have Aquarius placements, or maybe you have 11th house placements, or you might have Uranus in aspect to a lot of planets in your chart. And with the Tower, you may be someone who comes up with a lot of brilliant ideas with the lightning here. You might also be someone whose ideas they might light people on fire, so to speak, because you see there's like smoke coming from the background somewhere. So maybe the things that you do say or the ideas that you do have might light people on fire, so to speak. Let's see what else. You're someone who's not afraid to get out of a situation if it's not serving you. In terms of appearance, you could be quite tall. Tall and fiery with a lot of thoughts. You're probably seen as a big thinker, like someone who thinks a lot or is always contemplating something. And you might also be someone who doesn't always consider, like you're someone who can switch sides very easily. Like you might think like a lawyer in the sense that, like, you see how there's this red and blue person falling out of the Tower, so it makes me think of like red pill, blue pill. So you could be someone who, first of all has a higher consciousness, but someone who can see both sides of a story. So you're not always on one side. Like it's easy for you to change your mind about things. Okay. So with the 7 of Wheels, you're seen as someone who is quite savvy financially, someone who's able to save. Also, you might be good at investing in something. So you might have investments in the stock market, you might actively trade or even just put them into the right types of stocks. If it's not something like that, then maybe you're someone who enjoys gardening. You might have something of a green thumb, and you're someone who's patient. You're not afraid to wait for things, but you're always you're always considering what your past actions are and what they're bringing you. And you're the type to consider before doing anything what it's going to bring you in the future. Like if it's not worth it to you in terms of what you imagine it being in the future, you're probably not going to say yes to an offer, and people know that about you. So what else do we have here? So we have 2 9 of Cups, So essentially, people see you as someone who mostly gets what they want. Probably most often do get what they want because you've got the Nine of Cups twice. You're the type of person who visualizes things or materializes things, and they do come to pass quite quickly. Whatever you say, yeah, I wouldn't say whatever you say goes, but whatever it is that you wish for seems to come into your life rather easily. You could be a person who, you know that honey attracts more bees than vinegar type of thing. So you're quite nice in times of social interactions. And you're quite a welcoming person. Like if anybody ever needs anything or needs any kind of help, like you have your hands open, you're always willing to help, and you probably have a lot to give, even if it's not material. Like with the cups here is probably emotions. So you're probably someone that people come to for emotional support. Like you'll sit and listen to what it is that they have to say and maybe give them advice or at least give them some sort of solace of some sort. Yeah, someone very welcoming and nice. And you probably are a hard worker with the bees here. They're hard at work for this person. You could be an entrepreneur. Or if you have a regular job, then your boss is probably someone who's a cool boss, like someone that you can talk to, who's not too stringent, who understands your point of view. Person who gives you some kind of liberty in your work, like he's not very. This person obviously wants the work done, as like these bees are, but he's not sort of micromanaging you or anything like that. He trusts you to do your job. With this Nine of Cups, you're possibly someone who enjoys luxurious surroundings. If these people have been to your house, they would say it's well decorated and well considered. Like you'd like to have the furniture just so, and all the right accessories. And if they talk to you about your decor, you're able to tell them like, oh yes, well I got these curtains from this store, and this is the style, and this is the reason why it goes with this. And you're just very into decor. They might see you as being quite wealthy. Even if you're not, they would see you this way because that's the way you present yourself. And someone who's willing to share. Again, it doesn't have to be materially. It could be anything really, emotionally. If they're, there's a type of person, you're the type of person rather that, if someone's feeling down, they can come and see you, and you're just always happy, and you're like, hey, come on, let's, sit down, have a chat. Have some of this tea or whatever, wine, whatever is in these cups that he's got, and he's willing to share. Or, she, if you're female. Now, with the Seven of Swords, so with this Seven of Swords, you could be a night person, but you're also someone who's quite careful, and you're someone who can get yourself into some dicey situations, but you're also able to get yourself out of them. You can see he's on his tippy toes and he's sneaking away. So you're someone maybe that walks very lightly. You might come up on people and they're surprised to see you there, like they wouldn't have heard you coming. But you're also someone who's very strategic mentally speaking, because the swords always talk about mentality, right? So you're someone who mentally considers things, or you easily come up with solutions to get yourself out of either an argument or a situation rather quickly. Because as you can see, there's a snake at the corner here. So snakes are usually about, snake individuals. They're usually not how they present themselves, and they're always trying to gain something from you, but not in the most ethical manner. So you're sort of sidestepping the snake, but also taking into account that there are people who might be looking for you, escaping or whatever. So this is something that people see about you. Just physically speaking, you might have a very good bone structure. You can see his jaw. If you're male or female, doesn't matter. You might have very good bone structure. With the bodies of water, you're seen as someone who really takes care of themselves. Like you're very much into self-care. So you're always, well-groomed, well put together. You're always, nicely dressed, but also you're the type of person who will, take salt baths or go for a massage or heavy into meditation, yoga, that type of activity, but very much into water. So you probably like to swim or do some kind of sport that involves going to a beach or a lake, so maybe surfing or kayaking, this type of thing. And with honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So if you're not attached to someone, I would just say that you're probably the type of person that takes pleasure in anything you do, really. It seems like people spend time with you and it seems like they're on a honeymoon just because of the energy that you emit and the attitude that you have. You just make any mundane activities seem like they're on a honeymoon. So this might be because you're very attractive and the person is just happy to be around you. Or it could just be the essence that you exude. Like you might have a lot of Venus aspects, or you might be a Libra, maybe a lot of seventh house placements. You're just very easy to get along with. And if you are attached, or even if you're not attached, it could be that someone would be thinking of taking you on a honeymoon. You might also be Italian. This looks like they're in Venice here. You might also be into the occult, possibly. But yeah, again, with the water, you could also have strong water placements in your chart. And then if it's someone that is attached to you, they're very happy with you. Like they essentially think that life with you is a honeymoon. Okay, so that's how you're seen by other people. And then if people were to ask you about yourself, how is it that you would respond? So you've got the Queen of Swords. True feelings are masked. The High Priestess. The Chariot. The Page of Swords. And the Queen of Wheels. So the way that you see yourself, I think that you're very closed off, possibly, or this is what you try to do. You're not very forthcoming with your emotions. You pretend to keep them to yourself with the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords. You're very analytical and intelligent, again, with the Queen of Swords, and you know a lot more than people give you credit for. You're not someone that reveals everything that you know. So it reminds me, what's that saying? There's a saying I can't remember it right now, I'm going to have to paraphrase, but something like, there's two essential steps to having a successful life. Step one is, and they'll give you a reason, and then that's the end of the sentence, right? So it's like step one is to, let's say, drink a lot of water, and then they just leave it at that, and then you're like, what's the second one? And then they just don't give you an answer, because this is someone who just they keep their information to themselves. So that would be you with the High Priestess. And again, with the Queen of Swords, you're someone who's been through a lot of trials and tribulations in your life, and you just, been there, got the t-shirt, don't have the time for it. So you immediately notice nonsense, and then you just cut it off at the bud, nip it in the bud, as it were. With the Chariot, you're someone who, you think of yourself as very determined. You're probably someone who uses astrology to navigate your life with the stars. There's a lot of stars here in the canopy that he's got on the Chariot. So you're someone that does pay attention to the stars, and you probably don't tell people about this. Again, with the High Priestess, it's like sacred knowledge to you. But you do see yourself as someone who's quite determined. You probably prefer to have your body in a shape that would resemble the Chariot. The Chariot could represent an athlete, so it's possible that you're quite athletic, or you at least try to keep yourself in shape in a shape that would resemble an athlete. And you see yourself as someone who is able to spy on people. So you're probably really good at, going through someone's Twitter and Facebook and social media and finding out little tidbits about people. I wouldn't say that you're hiding out in the bushes or anything like that, but looking for someone, but maybe, I don't know. You might be that dedicated to the cause. True feelings are masked, the Harlequin. So again, you don't show people with the High Priestess. It would resemble the same thing. You're not someone that shows everyone who you are, right? So you do put on like a social mask when you go out. So let's say if you are a type of person who's one way at home and you go out in public, you put on this sort of veneer just to be able to navigate life without sticking out, as it were. So you can blend in. And then with the Queen of Wheels, you see yourself as someone who directs their own destiny. You've got the wheel here. It's a Queen of Pentacles, but she has got sort of a wheel of fortune. So you're someone who spins your own destiny and probably very good with money. Because as you can see, I think she's got some gold in there. So you're someone who's good with money, very sound financially. And you probably, again, hide this. So people might see you and they might think that you're the Queen of Swords, because the Queen of Swords is very sort of no nonsense, no frills, but in reality you're quite wealthy. But you don't tell people about this, again, with the true feelings are masked and the High Priestess and all this. All right, so that would be all I have for you today, pile number 1. I hope this resonated for you, and feel free to pick a different pile or check out other videos I have on my channel as well. Do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Goodbye, pile number 1. Hi, pile number 2. How are you? So today we're going to be looking at how people view you and how you would describe yourself. So this is for those of you that picked the blue acrylic paint. So this one would be how you would describe yourself, and this is how people view you. So we've got the Fool, the King of Cups, the Death card, the Seven of Cups, and the Six of Wands. We've also got Artemis, Guardian. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. And for those of you that were asking about someone romantically, you've got Engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. All right, so with the Fool, I would say that people view you as someone who's a minimalist. Because as you can see, this Fool, he's got his little wand and his belongings here, and he's off on an adventure, but you're not the type of person that would go on a trip and bring 16 suitcases. You've just got your little carry-on bag, and you're good to take a trip halfway around the world with that. And again, this would probably translate to the way that you are in life at home and your home furnishings. Like when you go to your house, you might have somewhat, like, I wouldn't say Spartan, but just minimalist looking. Like you don't have a lot of frills all over the place. You don't have, you're not much of a hoarder. Like you only have basics in your house, like whatever is necessary. And possibly not too much color at home. Like you're probably more of a neutral palette type of person when it comes to decorating. You're someone that likes animals, even if you don't have a dog. Like in the card, you probably do appreciate animals, so you might have something like that. You're probably a good kisser, if this is someone that's kissed you before, because he's got some mistletoe over here. Probably quite charming as well, since he or she's got the mistletoe and is sort of off on the way looking for the opportunity type of thing. You're someone who can see the silver lining in situations, because as you can see in the card here, it's quite cloudy, but you've got the sun coming out in the background. So you're someone that knows that, you realize that even though it's cloudy, if you went beyond the clouds, the sun would be there, right? You could have very flowy hair. Let's see what else. You may be quite athletic or engage in jogging or running, like you might run cross-country races, something like this, because we've got like a little greyhound, but it also, the Fool's stance here, it looks like they could be a runner just by the stance that they have. And you might have quite nice legs that people think. Okay, so with the King of Cups, you're seen as someone who is, again with the Fool, you could be an Aquarius, or someone with Aquarius placements, also 11th house placements, or you have strong Uranus in your chart. Just 1 second. Sorry about that. What else? Okay, so yeah, with the King of Cups, you could be seen as someone who is stable emotionally. You're someone that people can come and talk to if they're feeling either anxious or depressed, perhaps. You're always someone who would listen and have good advice for them. You could also be someone who enjoys the ocean or the sea. We've got the ocean here. then with ships, you could be someone that people would ship in a couple, for example, or it could just be that they would picture you going around the world on a on a sailboat, for example, or you're the type of person that maybe they could envision living on a sailboat. Some people do. But someone who's very caring, very emotional, very nurturing, but very stable in their emotions. Like, you're not the type of person that flies off the handle very often at all, which is admirable. So with the Death card, you're someone who's not afraid of situations that might frighten others. Like, you're someone who, let's say in the face of danger, you would be someone who would walk right into it. So I could see maybe, especially with the Six of Wands here, you could be the type of person, like, let's say, like a fireman or a police officer, like someone who would run towards the danger and save someone, because the Death card is associated with Scorpio, so it could be like plutonic situations. And with the Six of Wands, that would indicate bravery. So just someone who's brave about situations that might not appeal to others. Also, you could be quite slim with the Death card. You're also someone who isn't afraid to cut yourself off from situations that aren't serving you, or from people that are somehow not, they're not enriching your life experience, in other words. You could be someone who mirrors people, like who mirrors their actions. So you're the type of person that if someone's treating you a certain way, you probably treat them the same way back, because you can see his scythe looks kind of like a mirror. It's very reflective. Or maybe you're someone who, just by your presence or your being there, you're someone who causes others to reflect on themselves. Yeah, so, and again, just the concept of walking away from things, like whether they're emotional, you're not afraid of walking away from emotional situations or from thoughts that you had. Like, you're a person who can abandon thoughts that you might have been quite adamant about before. If either proof or a reasonable argument comes up, you're not afraid of abandoning your past ideas, or financial situations, or creative ideas. Because as you can see at the foot here, he's got, I don't know if you can see that, there's a broken cup, a broken pentacle, a broken sword, and a broken wand. So you're someone who can walk away from that, or possibly you're someone that does this for other people. Maybe you cause them to realize that they should abandon something, or should walk away from, let's say, a romantic situation, or maybe they should walk away from a job that's not serving them, or walk away from an idea that's not serving them, or try something else in terms of creativity, like a creative project. If it's not working, then you would encourage them to try something else. And this would relate back to the King of Cups, because this is someone who's quite wise and who gives good advice. So with the Six of Wands, you're someone who is seen as a winner, basically. This is the traditional meaning of the Six of Wands. You're someone that people would look up to. He's not in a crowd, but usually the traditional Six of Wands, he's on a horse and there's a crowd of people around him. So he's sort of, quote unquote, head and shoulders above the rest. So something like that, people would look up to you. You might be quite tall if they're looking up to you, or simply just because of the way that you act, or the way you go about your life is something that they aspire to. You might be an equestrian, you don't have to be, or someone that likes horses, or you could be Sagittarius, or have strong Sagittarius, Jupiter, or 9th house placements in your chart. Someone who's quite proud, someone that people would want on their team, and someone quite attractive as well. Because Six of Wands is an attractive card. And also, you're possibly athletic. You're someone who, if you did do sports in school, then someone who might have won a lot of medals or something like this. With the Seven of Cups, they see you as someone who has a lot of options in front of you, and all you have to do is choose one. Maybe they see you as someone who might dilly-dally, as it were, when trying to come up with what it is that you should do next, simply because you're someone who's multi-talented. Like, you don't necessarily have one thing that you're good at, you have several. So that's why it might be a bit confusing for you to choose a path. They could notice that maybe your waistline is quite accentuated, like you might have an hourglass figure, just because he's got this the tie around his waist. Or you might do martial arts and you have a belt in martial arts. And you could be seen as someone who is quite spiritual, and you have interesting insights on things. Like people will look at, let's say, a cup, and then they'll say like, this is a cup, and you're like, no, it's a vessel, but it's also, and you go on these long philosophical explanations of what a cup is beyond just being a cup, that type of thing. So you have a lot of depth to you in your conversations. Like you don't necessarily just look at the mundane. There's an extra layer to everything that you see, and that enlightens people. Again, that would come back to the death card, because you cause people to have these realizations that sort of shatter their preconceived notions of you and other people and situations. With Artemis, you could be seen, again, very beautiful, very attractive, someone who's very mentally driven, but also whatever it is that you aim at, you tend to achieve. So if you're the type of person that sets goals, or you have a list, or you have a vision board, for example, and whatever it is that you aim for, you get. Someone very fiery when you are going after your goals. And someone quite beautiful and graceful with the little the deer in the background. Very pretty. So you and your loved ones are protected. So you're seen as someone who's protected by things. Like you're not someone, even though you go through these situations, you're the type of person where people are like, oh my God, like how did you come out of that alive? Or how did you not hurt yourself when you did this? Or how did nothing happen to you when you went there? Like that type of thing, because you're protected spiritually. Like you have a bubble of protection around you. And with engagement, they could see you as someone who is engaged, or if they don't know you, they would think that you're engaged or have a significant other. Or they can see that there's a lot of people that would be, again with the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of people that would be interested in you romantically. They might think that you have nice hands, because you can see this man's looking intently at her hands to inspect them, as it were. Or you might just be very good at with your hands. Like you might do stuff like needlepoint or knitting. You might have a sewing machine, the type of person that alters clothes, that type of thing. And if not that, it could just simply mean that there's someone who's thinking of getting engaged to you. Okay, so that's the way that other people view you, and let's take a look at how you would describe yourself. So you've got the Four of Wands. You've got fire, reckless actions lead to conflict. The Justice card. The Knight of Cups. The Tower. And again, the Knight of Cups. Okay, so with these cards, I would say that you're someone who's quite pleased with the way that you look. You're probably a very natural beauty. Not someone that has a lot of cosmetic enhancements. You're just naturally attractive with the Knight of Cups and the Justice. Justice card can be Libra, so those with a lot of Libra in their chart, or like Libra Sun, Moon, Ascendant, that type of thing, or a lot of Venus connections in their chart. That would be something I'd associate with the Justice. So you might have very balanced facial features or balanced body, very symmetrical. The way that you dress is very appealing to people as well. But this is how you present yourself. So how you see yourself is this, and you purposely you put thought into your clothes and makeup and, just the way you come out. You're probably someone that takes great pride in your physicality with this guy here. And yeah, you're just someone who pays attention, like you purposely pay attention to your accessories before you go out. So you're making sure that, your shoes match your handbag, and that your nails are matching the color scheme that you have that week. And, your hair is, just in place, that type of thing. This would echo what's here in the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is similar to the Knight of Cups type of thing, because it's, it's a sign of beauty, like very beautiful, very attractive. You probably have a good social media following, and a lot of people probably comment on how beautiful or attractive that you are. You probably see yourself as having a bit of a temper with this fire card, and reckless actions lead to conflict, so you're not afraid to tussle with someone. Like, you are very Venusian and very balanced and polite and nice, but if push comes to shove, you're not afraid to jump into the ring, as it were. And you are someone that can say things that are incendiary, or that, sets people afire, right? Or, gets people riled up, as it were, with this tower card next to the fire. So yeah, you see yourself as very attractive, someone very stylish, very balanced. You see yourself as a happy person, someone who's charming. You have a lot of pride in yourself. You can see that he's got his like chin up type of thing. Yeah, and with this area here, the fact that he's riding a dragon, you could be you're the type of person that's not afraid to take on situations. I think it would be more arguments with the Justice card, but yeah, you're not afraid to get into arguments that other people might stay away from. And you're probably very logical, again, with the Justice card. So you see yourself as very logical, and yeah. And you see yourself as someone who would defend other people. Okay, so I think that's all I have for you, my pal number 2. Feel free to check out the other videos on my channel, or else you can pick a different pile. Do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye, pal number 2. Hi, pal number 3. So those of you that chose the yellow acrylic paint, this is your reading. So we're looking at how it is that other people see you versus how you see yourself. So this is how you would see yourself here. We'll put these here or off to the side. So how do other people view you, my pal number 3? We've got the wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune. The moon, the Two of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Hanged Man. And you've got Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. And if you were asking about a romantic connection, you've got Make the Effort. Great love is worth taking, the steps you were guided to take. So this is how people see you. All right, so with the wheel, that's the Wheel of Fortune. Sorry, let me just get a sip of water here. So this would be the Wheel of Fortune. And as you can, this wheel is different than a traditional Wheel of Fortune. As you can see, she's in the center and she's sort of drawing her own wheel. So you're seen as someone who makes their own luck. Like, you're not waiting for luck to happen for you. You're out there creating it. And even though you have lots of events going on around you that might upset other people or might throw other people off, you're someone that maintains their center in these situations. You're also seen as someone who is able to divine things. You can see that she's also got a wheel pendulum here that she's carrying. So you might be someone that douses with like a pendulum to divine things, or that you make guesses that are quite accurate with this right here. And you're someone quite balanced. I don't know if you can see her armband here, but she's got sort of like two wheels or whatever, two little round centers. So it kind of reminds me of like the yin yang symbol. Like, you're very, dark and light, and male, female. Like, your male and female elements are probably well balanced. Like, you can be assertive the way a male could be, but also sensitive the way a woman would be. And you're probably someone who likes the outdoors, because she is outdoors. With the moon, You're probably seen as someone who appreciates the moon. Very Cancerian. It's a Cancer card. Sometimes in other decks, it's also a Scorpio that they have, not the Cancer symbol. So maybe someone who's got a hard exterior, but once people get to know you, you're very soft and welcoming. Someone quite psychic or quite intuitive, like you just seem to know things that other people wouldn't. And they might see you as someone who is like a portal, or like a portal to other realms that they might not have thought of, like someone who's very magical, very spooky, very witchy, that type of vibe. They see you as valuable. You can see this. You can see the crab there. He's on a coin, so they would see you as someone who's quite valuable, someone they'd want on their team, someone they'd want to keep around them because they find you and the information that you bring them, or the emotional opportunities that you bring, quite valuable. You're someone that can steer them the right way. Like if someone's lost in some form or fashion, like even just, let's say if someone's lost in the street, like you'd be able to give them direction. Or if someone's just lost in general, like emotionally, you'd be able to bring them to shore, so to speak, because you've got these 2 lighthouses. So you're sort of like a beacon of hope, as it were, for people. So maybe even if you don't know them necessarily, they know of you, and they look up to you the way that you handle your life events, and they would see you as an example to follow. Again, with the 2 of Pentacles, that kind of resembles what I was talking about with this woman's armband here, very balanced. You're someone that integrates all parts of yourself, like you realize that you have a dark side and a light side. You're not afraid of your shadow side at all, and you're able to reconcile that and balance it. Because you can see he's sort of swallowing his tail, so he's got the head and tail end of himself connected. And again, very balanced, because you've got the 2 and it's got the infinity symbol. So you're probably someone who sees the greater mysteries of life, and you're able to translate that for people and able to balance it out for people who might not understand that. With the Magician, you're seen as someone who can do anything you want. You might not feel that way, but that's the way other people see you. They might not envy you, but they can definitely see this quality in you. And again, that is something to them that would make you valuable, because you do have, the brains, the brawn, the emotional intelligence, and the material that would enable you to bring your dreams into fruition. The Magician is also very cerebral, sort of like Gemini energy. So you could be a Gemini or have Gemini in your chart, maybe 3rd house placements, or I just can't remember what the other thing. Oh, Mercury. Lots of Mercury aspects, sorry. And then with the Hanged Man, you're someone that sees things from a different perspective than a lot of people. You're someone who's not afraid of diving deep, the way this guy is. Look. So you're not afraid of doing deep dives on things. Like you could also be someone who does deep dives on subjects. Like maybe you have a YouTube channel where you go into, the specifics of, let's say a case, like maybe you have like a murder mystery channel, and you go deep into the details of the relationship between 2 people and what happened, something like this. Or just simply, again, that you're someone who looks at things from a different perspective, and you're able to share that with people. Again, with the Magician here, very communicative. You put people onto different concepts that they might not have been aware of. And you're also seen as someone who's very spiritually connected, because as you can see, he's got this string around him, this red string. It reminds me of Kabbalah. They wear like a red string around their wrists as form of spiritual protection, as it were. So they might see you as someone who's very spiritually aware, but also spiritually protected in that sense. And probably someone who, you're someone who reaches for things. You can see that he's reaching for something, he's diving for something. I can't really see what it is necessarily, but you're not afraid to dive in and get to go after what you want. And again, with Diana focused intention, you'll make your mark. Again, that would be like a repetition of the Magician. Like they just see you as someone who, as long as you focus, you would be able to achieve basically anything, because you are the Magician. And the Magician is someone who essentially could achieve whatever it is that they want. they're a very mentally driven person, and they're able to put together all different elements to bring forth whatever it is that they're willing to, or they're trying to manifest, as it were. So, yeah, they could see you also as someone who's quite, you're not very shy, you're not a very shy person, you're probably a very direct person. You're someone that speaks your mind, because you can see that she's sort of very in your face, like she doesn't have her face turned or anything, she's very head on, very straight. And yeah, she doesn't look very afraid. Like she'll probably tell you what it is that what she wants or what she thinks. She's not a wallflower, as it were. You might have good aim, whether that's, I don't know if you do any kind of aiming activities like archery, or maybe you play pool, or maybe, I don't know, marbles, bowling. You might be good at those type of activities if that's something that you do. If not that, then you're probably someone who hits the mark, as it were. So let's say if you have a project at school, you're someone who aces the project, or like the teacher will mention you because you've really completed it in a way that impresses them. Or if you dress, for example, the way that you dress maybe hits the mark, like your outfits are always on point, your makeup's on point, the way that you walk, like very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but very confident. Like you're a very confident person is how they see you. You might not think so yourself, but this is how other people view you. So they view you as very confident, someone who could do whatever they want, someone whose destiny is up to them and not other people. Very mystical, you look at things differently, and that probably gives you more opportunities with the magician. That's probably why they think that, because you see things in a different way, so that gives you more choices to choose from in terms of what it is that you want to do. And with make the effort, again, okay, so I know this is a romance card, but I do think this has to do with Diana, and then keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused. They might see you as someone who could be a bit scatterbrained at times, sometimes. And that if you were just to focus and make the effort, then you would be this magician here who's sort of all powerful, as it were, and able to do quite a lot. Yeah, and romantically, you might be someone who has your attentions focused elsewhere. Maybe it's something that someone else is wanting you to make the effort. They wish that you would put more effort into the relationship, or they wish that you would notice them. Maybe there's someone who has a crush on you, or wants to reconcile with you, but you're probably not paying attention to that, and they wish that you would. They wish that you would make the effort, maybe. Yeah, but you're someone who's quite lovable, I would say, and you're probably someone that animals would come up to. Like maybe if you're in the park, you would have animals coming up to you without you prompting them at all, because you've got this little puppy in the corner. So something like that. So that is how other people view you. Let's take a look at how you would describe yourself. So we've got the Three of Cups, the Page of Wands. It says Knave, so I guess that's the Page of Wands. The Eight of Swords. Serendipity, bright new prospects are on the horizon. The Page of Wheels, which is the Page of Pentacles, and Temperance. Sagittarian cards. So some of you may be Sagittarians, or have prominent Sagittarius placements, or maybe strong Jupiter, or a lot of ninth house placements. If not that, you probably just associate yourself with the way Sagittarians are. You might travel quite a bit, and you're someone who's balanced. Like you could also be bartenders with this Temperance card, because it looks like he's got different bottles and vials of things. So yeah, someone who you're probably quite calm, like you're like a nature person. You like to dip your feet in the water, as it were, and then just take in the beauty of the trees and the sound of the birds chirping, that type of thing. But you're also someone, I think, again, with the Three of Cups, some of you might be bartenders with this Three of Cups here, the merrymaker. So you're probably someone who sees yourself as quite fun to go out with. So you might see yourself as like not the life of the party, but someone who contributes to how fun a social event would be. And you probably do like to have like a glass of wine or two when you do go out. With the Page of Wands, you're probably someone who's quite adventurous and again well-traveled, again with the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius, but you could also be a fire sign like a Leo or an Aries, as well as the Sagittarius. Yeah, someone just fun, out for adventure, likes to cheer people up. You probably think you have nice legs, or you're an athlete, you like to run or jog, something like this. What else? I think you're quite optimistic, or you see yourself as quite optimistic with this serendipity and bright prospects around the horizon. And you're probably someone who looks for symbols, like you're the type of person who's like, oh, you know, spirit, give me a sign type of thing. Like you look into signs quite a lot because you've got serendipity, and then you've got all these sort of, I guess they're butterflies and like little orbs of light, little spirits and stuff like that. So you're probably someone who, even if you don't believe in fairies, but you do believe in spirit guides and that they guide you throughout your life. And with the Page of Wheels, you're someone who likes to learn quite a lot, and you can be financially savvy. Even if you might not have a lot of money, you still have an idea of like what to do. Like, for example, if someone came to you for advice, you'd be able to tell them what to do just because you have the knowledge, or because you've made the mistake yourself, and you could probably advise them like how not to be in your situation. So that would be the Page of Wheels. And you're someone who takes care of your health quite a bit. You're very health-centered, because this can usually be a Virgo placement, but if not, just earth signs, so that would be Capricorn or Taurus as well. So you might have those placements in your chart, or you could have earth house placements, which would be the 10th house, 2nd house, or 6th house. Someone quite conscientious, like you tend to follow the rules for the most part. And then with the 8 of Swords, you're probably someone who can get down on yourself sometimes, but I would say just occasionally. So you're probably someone who puts limits on yourself, really. Because you can see she has a blindfold on, but there's really no one else around, and she's got her hands free, so she could just take the blindfold off if she wanted to. And it's not like she's trapped anywhere. She's pretty much, free to get up and walk away. It's not like she's blocked off. Like, there is these swords here, but she could just go that way, right? So maybe you're someone that does this to yourself sometimes, but it doesn't really last very long because of the rest of the cards that you have here, with the 3 of Cups and the Page of Wands, the Page of Wheels, the Temperance card, and then your serendipity thing. But so maybe to get out of this situation, you're someone that waits on a sign or waits for serendipity to give you the idea. Or maybe sometimes you just get, a divine spark that, sort of propels you off in a different direction. Okay, so I think that's all I have for you, my pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Feel free to check out a different pile or the rest of the readings I have on my channel. And do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon. Goodbye, pile number 3. Pile number 4. So for those of you that chose the red acrylic paint, this is your reading. So we're looking at how other people view you versus how you view yourself. So this will be how other people view you. I'll just put that to the side here. Okay, so how do other people view you? We've got the 2 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, Strength card. You have the King of Wands and the High Priestess. You also have Mat, Fairness. The situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. And you deserve love. You are lovable. Excuse me. Okay, so with the 2 of Wands, you're probably seen as someone who... The 2 of Wands, generally speaking, is someone who plans things, or in a planning stage. They're someone who's got the blueprints, they've got the travel plans, they've got everything, the to-do list going on. So someone who's quite organized in that sense. You're probably someone who organizes things. Like, you could be the type of person that when you go to your friend's house, you have no problem sort of organizing their closet for them, or helping them throw older things away if they've been clogging up the apartment, or maybe you just help them clean or something like this. Like, if they've been overwhelmed, you're someone who will go and help them with that. Also with the 2 of Wands, usually It's a gentleman who's quite well dressed, and he's got a globe in his hands. So somebody who's basically got the world in his hands. So someone who has a lot of opportunities available to them versus someone else who might not. Or someone who's planning on going on a trip. Maybe they see you as someone who travels quite a bit, whether that's overseas or just in your country or in your region. But with this Two of Wands, in addition to the traditional Two of Wands significations, I would probably say that they see you as someone who likes to go out in nature. You're probably someone who likes to sort of like bathe in nature. So you'll go on lots of walks to the park, or yeah, you'll probably go to the park or go for picnics, or, you know, you're just very, you know, very nature driven. Like it gives you energy, as it were. Maybe you ski or do cross-country skiing. It looks like he's got these 2 skiing poles. And just someone very, very natural. Like you're probably not someone who wears too much makeup. I don't think that you do. You're probably like a natural beauty is what they would say. Yeah, just someone like a beautiful person, whether you're male or female. With the Ten of Pentacles, they would say that you present yourself in a way that's quite wealthy. Like you give the impression that you're a wealthy person or that your family is wealthy. The Ten of Pentacles is, you know, wealth and family. Maybe they see your father as a wealthy person, or just like your family name sounds like you would come from a wealthy family, if that's not the case. Someone that has... you probably remind them of your parents, like you probably speak like a parent of yours or have the same attitudes as a parent of yours, or just like when they meet you, they're like, oh, you know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, that type of situation with the Ten of Pentacles. With the Strength card, I would say that they see you as an animal lover. You might be a veterinarian, or maybe even interested in teeth, like you might be into dental work, or you just have nice teeth. Someone quite strong, either mentally, emotionally, or physically. So if it's physically, you probably go to the gym and work out and lift weights, that type of thing, or work on strengthening exercises. Maybe you're a personal trainer. You could have an hourglass figure with the Strength card. It is number 8, so the number 8 has sort of it looks like an hourglass, right? So very curvy, very buxom, but also very fit. So they see you as a very fit person. With the King of Wands, they would see you as someone who's quite confident, whether you're male or female. So someone, you know, you look people square in the eye, and, you know, very, very confident, very grounded. You know, you're not someone that's very intimidated. You don't intimidate people either. At least you don't do it on purpose if you do. But just someone very confident, very entrepreneurial, someone who could be seen as a boss or in a managerial position. They could see you as being that way. And with the High Priestess next to the King of Wands, you might be a fire sign, so maybe an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or have that in your chart. But also with the High Priestess, you might have a lot of Pluto, or maybe a lot of water in your chart. So maybe you're like a Sagittarius, but with a water moon or something like this, but just some water somewhere in your chart. You're probably someone that they see that your mind sort of expands, like you're very expansive mentally, like you probably put them onto concepts that they wouldn't have thought of. You could also be someone that might indulge in herbs or plants or psychedelics, like you have the mushrooms here. Maybe someone that indulges in mushrooms. Those are seen, I think they're in clinical trials now for use as an antidepressant. So maybe you might be into medicine, or just read a lot about that and then you tell your friends about that, or you tell people around you about it. Could be that you have hidden wealth. They think that you have, like, with the High Priestess and the Ten of Pentacles, they might think that you might present yourself as not having a lot of money, but they think that you've got like a secret bank account that has like millions of dollars in it somewhere. So maybe something like that. And with Matt Fairness, the situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. They think that you're a fair person. Like they see that you're very logical. So maybe you could be somebody that mediates between two people, like, or two parties. So maybe you're someone who's very logical and you're able to see both sides of the situation, but very in a very unbiased manner. Like you're not someone that takes sides. You sort of you listen to both sides equally and then try to find the middle way between them. So you don't automatically, like, even if you were political, you would still be able to listen to the other political parties' arguments, and then if they have a good point, you would agree with them, right? And some people might see that as being wishy-washy, but it's not. You're just being logical, right? Again, very attractive. Someone who's focused on peace with the doves here, but very attractive physically. You can see she's quite attractive. Like I said, you are a natural beauty. Like, you probably don't wear a lot of makeup because, yeah, none of the people in these cards are wearing a lot of makeup. She is. So they're saying that when you do wear makeup, it's quite stunning. You might look quite angelic because it looks like she's got sort of like a, you know, like a halo in the background here. You could be exotic. You could be native. She's got like a feather here. Again, focus on peace, but yeah, exotic with the flowers. I don't know what those are. Lilies, I think, tiger lilies maybe. So those are quite exotic in terms of you know, regular flowers. Like, they're not ones that are typical. So your beauty is very unique, very stunning, very attractive. They could see you as, you know, valuable looking, or you look expensive maybe, like, because she's wearing a lot of gold here, and then you've got the gold tablets. But very fair, very possibly intimidating, because she does seem to, you know, stare at you, right? Like, she's not looking away, she's staring right into you. So probably they see you as someone who they might not be able to lie to or try to mislead, because you're someone that will see through that type of thing. And then with all of this, they also see that you're quite lovable. Like, you might be very serious and very balanced and like entrepreneurial and confident and stuff, but when it's time to have fun, like, you're actually quite adorable. This is what they find lovable about you. Like, they could find that you're kind of childlike, because you've got these little cherubs, I guess, that are behind her. Like, she's very focused on achieving her goals and stuff, but she wouldn't be afraid to, you know, put the bow down and then have fun. And stuff like that. Like, maybe you're the type of person that, I don't know, like, you're the type of person that just surprises people with how fun you can be. Like, you just come across as someone who's very straight-laced and very somber and serious, but then when it comes time to let your hair down, like, you're not afraid to let loose, right? So you could, you know, you're the type of person who could break into song at any given moment, or, you know, if you're walking down the street, all of a sudden you'd be like, oh, let's skip because it's more fun, like that type of thing. That type of energy, like maybe a little bit chaotic, not too much, but you can be. Or maybe you just have like a lot of mutable planets in your chart. So mutable planets, or signs rather, would be Gemini, Sagittarius, Virgo, and Pisces. So yeah, so that is how people see you. I'm trying to see if I see anything else. Yeah, but just very strong, mentally, physically, emotionally, very steadfast. Okay, so let's look at how you would describe yourself. So again, this is how other people see you, regardless of whether you think so or not. That's how you come across to people. And how you would describe yourself, you've got the Ace of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, okay, and Ace of Wands. Okay, so these are matching. And you've got King, Authority, and Diplomacy, Queen of Cups, and the Star. All right, so I think that how people view you is actually how you are. So, like, for example, in your birth chart, you might have the same ascendant as a lot of the placements that you have. So let's just say you're, like with the Ace of Wands, let's just say you're an Aries ascendant. You could be an Aries moon and Venus as well, something like this. Or maybe if you're a Scorpio ascendant, you have a lot of Scorpio planets, which would make you... your ascendant is how people view you, and then like the other planets are how you actually are. So basically you have a lot of planets that would match your ascendant, I think. But anyway, so how you would view yourself is you see yourself as quite valuable. You know your worth. You're someone who's quite mystical. You like to stargaze at night, and you see yourself as being guided by your own North Star. Like, you always follow your North Star. If people try to steer you off course, you're always focused on where it is that you think you need to go, not where other people want to lead you. With the wheel, I would say that you realize that fate has a role in most people's lives, well, in everybody's lives, it does. There's not really much choice in that, but yeah, you're still able to see the parts where you can actually exert your own influence. So as you can see, like with this wheel, there's still like you've got the different signs here, but there's still some space where you could probably put your weight to shift it either one way or another, right? Because, I mean, the wheel's not turning by itself. It's probably turning because it's got the weight of these beings on it. So if you were to insert yourself like here, you know, the wheel would go that way, and if you were to go here, then it would probably spin that way. So you see how you see the sort of what's the, not shortcut, there's a word I'm looking for, it'll come to me, but you're able to see how you can shift things to go in your favor. With the wheel, usually it's the signs that are, it's Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio. So these might be on your angles, like you might have any of those as your ascendant or MC, your medium quelli, or you might have those signs in your chart somewhere. And you could be someone quite mystical, again, like the same as the Ace of Pentacles here. With the Ace of Wands, you can see yourself as being quite argumentative. You're not, you don't see it as being argumentative. You're more of a person that likes to debate things. Like if there's something that you don't agree with, you're a type of like the prove me wrong type of person. Like I have my opinion, prove me wrong, and let's discuss. But the way that you do debate your points is probably seen as quite passionate or quite aggressive, which some people can see as you being angry, but you're not. You're just passionate about your topic, right? And you're excited to talk to people about it. You could be someone who's quite athletic, again, with the Ace of Wands, quite creative, someone who comes up with ideas all the time, constantly. And you see yourself as quite strong, quite confident. With the star, I do think that you appreciate your looks, like you're happy with the way that you look. You might have gone through a transformation or lost quite a bit of weight, or you might have applied yourself to a workout program and you're proud of the results, so it makes you feel like a star. Like maybe you have like an Instagram or just or TikTok, some sort of social media where people have seen this, because the star is an Aquarius card, but it's also the 11th house. So 11th house has to do with your social media and friend group and social circle. So maybe you've showcased your beauty on social media. You probably see yourself as very friendly. You see yourself as being a humanitarian, someone who's always willing to help out with humanitarian concerns. With the Queen of Cups, you'd see yourself again, someone quite beautiful. Like you do like the way that you look, and you're also quite sensitive and feeling, very intuitive, quite psychic. And then with the King, authority and diplomacy, you probably see yourself again as someone like with the Ace of Wands, someone quite confident, steadfast, very emphatic about the points that they'll make. You see yourself as sort of an authority figure, so maybe you are actually like a boss at work or a manager, something like this, or you run your own business, so you're sort of like, you know, hashtag girl boss, that type of thing. Maybe it is something where you do give a lot of advice to people with the Queen of Cups, so you do see yourself as sort of an authority figure, but again, very diplomatic about what it is that you do tell them. Like you're very sensitive about the way that you do speak to people when it's a sensitive subject. Like you're not afraid to get into a debate with someone and just say what you feel, but if it is a sensitive situation, you sort of tone that down and you're very diplomatic about it. All right, so I think that's all I have for you, my pile number 4. I hope this resonated for you, and feel free to pick a different pile or check out the other videos I have on my channel. Do remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Goodbye, pile number 4.